Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Cordant and this time we'll be starting our new series for the channel, Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. For those of you who haven't been following, we are taking a character, which is Mr. Palpatine, you'll see him soon enough, all the way through Baldur's Gate 1, since he was a tiny Sith Lord, level 1. We finished Baldur's Gate 1, defeated Sarevok, imported our character into Siege of Dragonspear. We did the DLC, all of the Siege of Dragonspear campaign. We got some nice items, which are also going to be imported into Baldur's Gate 2 because of it. And it is now time to take him into Shadows of Amn. So one side note, this is going to be played with the latest version, which is version 2.6. This is a patch that came out yesterday, I believe. So there may be a few differences, maybe graphical, maybe some gameplay tweaks that we are not used to, so keep that in mind. And other than that, the game is pretty much unmodded, quest-wise. It does use the Tweaks anthology for mostly quality of life changes. It uses Sword Coast Stratagems, or SCS for short, for major gameplay differences. So much more challenging gameplay, much harder encounters, especially when you're talking about spellcasters. And we are also using the Ascension mod to change up the Throne of Ball section. Okay, so extra challenges there and a few differences that make it a bit more interesting. So without further ado, let's check out our intro for Shadows of Amn.
You spent your youth in the library fortress of Candlekeep, under the kind tutelage of your foster father Gorion. Imoen shared this home, a kindred spirit. Her background was as mysterious as your own. Gorion's murder brought answers to your questions when his killer Sarevok was revealed to be your brother. You and Sarevok were a product of the Time of Troubles, a chaotic period when gods were made flesh and forced to walk the earth. One such deity foresaw his own death and walked the land before the cataclysm. He left a score of mortal offspring, intended to be the fuel for his rebirth. The god was Baal, Lord of Murder, and you are one of his children. Sarevok sought a war of sacrifice to prove his worth, believing he could become the new Lord of Murder. You killed your brother, sending his taint back to Baal. You were the hero of Baldur's Gate, but some suspected you shared the same lineage as Sarevok. You departed soon after, under circumstances much darker than anyone would have believed. They came as you rested, figures cloaked in mist that clouded your thoughts, blurring the lines between consciousness and dreaming. There was no malice or hatred, no mention of an old score, only quick capture and the promise of grim deeds to come.
Man, I love this game's intro. Old game intros are the kind of old 3D, but it makes me really happy. I do love seeing them. So yeah, as I was saying, we've been playing with a character. He is Mr. Palpatine. which I'm now going to import into Shadows of Amn. Now, I checked this before because there are a lot of saves, so bear with me. And I believe I can find it relatively soon. Hopefully. Come on. This is Loch Lamora. But the one I want is... Oh. Aha, here it is. Okay, so Palpatine items for import BG2. Because for those who don't know, there are certain items in Baldur's Gate 1 as well as Siege of Dragonspear which actually get imported into Baldur's Gate 2. The one caveat to that, you could say, is that you need to have those items either equipped on your character or in your inventory. If you have the items in one of your companions, if you have the items inside of a bag of holding, you will not get them imported into Baldur's Gate 2. So keep that in mind if you're also trying to import one of your saved games from the previous games into BG2. You will not get your items if you do that. Okay? So you need to have them equipped or in your inventory. So this is just a save where I took stuff out of my companions, took stuff out of the bag of holding, and placed it inside Palpatine's inventory. So let's get started here. We're going to import Mr. Palpatine. And for those who don't know, this is a male human sorcerer. He is chaotic evil, obviously. As for the ability scores, it's not that important for a sorcerer. Sorcerers do not need, at least in AD&D, they didn't need... Well, let me just correct myself. In the AD&D version that got implemented into Baldur's Gate, the video games, okay, they don't make use of any particular ability score. So they should be making use of charisma, but for the Baldur's Gate games, they really don't. So this is simply a set of ability scores which are generally useful for any character. So high charisma to get better interactions with NPCs, get higher discounts at stores, make sure your NPCs don't leave you in certain fights. It's always nice to have. Wisdom, I could have a very high wisdom score for if I wanted to use the wish spell. I don't think I'm going to be using it that often, so not really interested with it. And if I really do need it, I can just pop on a wisdom potion and I'll be set. Intelligence is at 16. This makes it so we can tank a couple of hits from some very important enemies in Baldur's Gate 2, okay, the Mind Flayers. Constitution score started at 16, which is the highest score from which a non-fighter character can benefit. Dexterity as high as possible to get a nice armor class bonus. And strength just a value so we don't get overburdened too often. Obviously, all of these scores have been increased due to the tomes in Baldur's Gate 1. These were not the default scores, of course. You can't have like 19 dexterity base on a human. So keep that in mind. For spells, which is something that's very important for a sorcerer, and it takes me a while to actually decide what to take. But yeah, so for level 1 we went for blindness, which is always going to be useful. Chromatic Orb, this is mostly because I didn't really have anything else to pick here. Magic Missile, one of the best damaging spells in the game. Shield, always useful. Spook, the saving throw penalty increases throughout your levels, so it's also very good throughout Baldur's Gate 2. And then, this finishes up level 1. For level 2, mostly defensive stuff, so Blur, Invisibility and Mirror Image. And then for fun I took Ray of Enfeeblement and Web, which is one of the best crowd control spells in Baldur's Gate 1. And it's quite good in Baldur's Gate 2 also, at least at the start. As for level 3, we took Maelstrom Meteors, Remove Magic, Skull Trap, Slow, and that's it. And that's it. Level 4, we took Greater Malison, Improved Invisibility and Stone Skin. and for level 5 we are taking Breach and Spell Immunity. So this is pretty much a lineup of mostly debuffing and disabling spells, with some key damaging ones in between. Okay? And then it's all defensive stuff, because so far Palpatine hasn't died. I'm not so sure if I'm gonna keep up that streak in Baldur's Gate 2, but I'm going to try. So I'm gonna kit him out with all the best spells to keep him alive. And for proficiencies, you know, they aren't really that important for a sorcerer, but he has Quarterstaff and a Sling. As for the appearance, this is our sexy main character, Mr. Palpatine, wearing black and red with his greyish hair. And for the voice, we have a sound pack.
I am the Senate.
Yes, you are. So we're gonna be taking this sound pack, as well as this custom portrait. He is going to be Mr. Palpatine, and the character generation, in this case the character import, is now complete. So without further ado, let's bring Mr. Palpatine to life in BG2. We are also going to pick the insane difficulty. So several enemies receive further boosts to their abilities and their numbers. Spellcasters aggressively cast spells before combat. Use of high level abilities now occurs for the most powerful spellcasters throughout the game. So this is something that Sword Coast Stratagems does. We are not going to take the double damage modifier because I don't really like it. I prefer to play with the core rules in terms of damaging. But I want smarter AI. So for me, this is the best implementation of difficulty in a game. It's not just buffing your enemies with more HP or making it so you take extra damage. It actually makes your opponents smarter. Okay, and that's the perfect implementation for me of increasing difficulty. So we're gonna take Insane.
Ah, the child of Baal has awoken. It is time for more experiments. The pain will only be passing. You should survive the process. Interesting. You have much untapped power. Do you even realize your potential?
More intruders have entered the complex, Master.
They act sooner than we had anticipated. No matter, they will only prove a slight delay.
Join our enemies.
Wake up, you. Wake up. Come on. We have to get out of here.
Imoen! Keep your greaves on. I'll move when I'm ready. You'd better make yourself ready right quick, you goon. Don't you remember getting dragged here? I guess I can't blame you for forgetting. All I remember is us getting jumped near Baldur's Gate. It was quick. I don't think I want to remember it all. He's been doing things to us. Palpatine, we have to get out of here. Alright, I'm moving. I ache all over though. Yeah, me too, but my head hurts the most. Yours too by the sound of the screaming. We just have to get out of here. We'll go, but I must know who is behind this. Later. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure I could get loose again if he came back. My head hurts so bad. It isn't like a normal pain, Palpatine. It's on the inside, like my bones made a little dagger and it won't go away. Don't look at me like that, it just hurts alright. Must have been the noise. There was a fight. Assassins came after our captor, I think. There's people dead all over and the fighting is still going on. I could hear it. Are you going to get moving or do I leave without you? Right you are, let's go. You seem awfully quick to abandon me. Stop being like that. I know it's just because he messed up with your head, but that excuse only goes so far. Come on, I'll drag you out of here if I have to, just so long as we get out. I can't go through anymore. We should look in that room to the west first. West and just a bit north. I think I saw some weapons in there. It's a room off the corner of this one. I don't think it's our gear. They probably sold our best stuff, but anything is better than nothing. Now let's go. Okay.
So be it.
So one of the things I want to start by showcasing here for those of you who don't know SCS. We have a button here which is fine-tune difficulty, and this is where you can actually define the level of difficulty for any particular component. So let's say I wanted to touch on mages. Okay, it gives you several options, such as, for example, hardcore. Mages capable of casting it will normally use Melf's minute meteors and similar spells between casting spells. Okay, so this is incremental, so default, basic, improved, tactical, hardcore, insane, legacy of Ball. Okay, the difficulty is currently set to default, which is the difficulty determined by the general difficulty slider. So it's at insane. Since there is no insane option, it defaults to hardcore. Okay, so there are a bunch of options. You guys can fine-tune this any way you like. I will not make any changes right now because I'm fine with the difficulty here at insane. Okay, now another thing we have to do is Imoen. Your script is going to be preferring ranged weapons. You will not cast anything, please. You will find traps though. Okay. And Palpatine, what is your script? No. You are fine. Okay. So, Imoen is a mage thief, so it's a dual class. She was a thief level 7 and then dual class to mage. And we can now level her up. She has some nice thieving abilities. She's got some saving throw improvements, additional mage spells, and some more hit points and lore. Okay. As to your spells, milady, what do you have? You have a couple of useful things. I don't need this strength, I don't think, but for now I'm gonna keep this stuff before we rest. Okay, cool. Oh, very cool. Okay. And we are good to go. So the first thing we notice here is that we have two of our friends here, Jahira and Minsc.
Quickly, we must get out of here before whoever did this returns. I swear, traveling with you is never dull.
Aha! No, it is not. Now what are our options here? Have you any idea why we are here? No, I do not, and I would rather we furthered the investigation at a time that was more in our favor. We have friends to find and, in time, enemies to punish. I will repeat what I believe led to our capture if I must, but I doubt it shall prove to be different than what is already known by you. My husband, Khalid, and I have traveled with you for some seasons now, and the places we have seen number too many to name. Your unique heritage has proven a magnet to adventure, for better or worse, and your foster father was right in directing us to watch over you. We remain in your company as friends more than guardians, and our exploits together have left the land for the better. We have earned many enemies, but we have dispatched them all. Whoever has trapped us now is certainly powerful to have done this so easily. Once we know, we will deal with them in due course, but for the time being it is more important we retrieve our friends and companions and leave this place. Okay. I agree, but your cage seems to require a key of some magical nature. I don't know. If you are of sufficient strength, it is possible the cage may be broken. If not, you may have to search for whatever key it might need. Do try to hurry. I wish to be out of here before the owner returns. the ease of our capture suggests it may be beyond our power to resist. It would be best to face the culprit another day on our own terms, so go and be quick. We must free ourselves soon. So this dungeon also acts as a tutorial, of course, for the people who didn't play Baldur's Gate 1.
Minsc will be free. These bonds will not hold my wrath, but will be liberally kicked in good measure.
Boo. Minsc? Your mighty warrior spirit must find these bars unbearable. Time is short for talk that is small. Release me. I will rain beatings down upon all who have dared touch me and Dinaher. She will be avenged. Calm yourself. We must keep our heads if we are to escape. Yes. I will not be the only one to lose my head here today. Dinaher, my charge and friend, she is dead, and I am a failure as her guard. Oh, so they killed Dinaher. I will exact penance from each and every wicked soul that dare lay a finger on. They killed her as I watched, you see. I know not who they were, but I will redeem myself. Minsc, that is horrible. I am so sorry for you. I won't cry for the dead, I won't. Okay, maybe a little, but I will staunch the flow of tears with righteous fury. Lullaby and good night, evil. Minsc will make you pay. Will you help me? We must join together once more, and our fury will be such that bards will run their quills dry. Yes, ink will be scarce wherever you go. Okay, so we can actually... He's kind of a berserker. He's not really a berserker, but he's got kind of some head problems. And he can go berserk if things go awry. So let's try and provoke him to see if he can break his cage. Your being here shows you are weak. I will leave you where you are. You turn your back on those in need? You are abandoning me in my hour of shame? You are no better than those that killed Dinaher. You are filth that I called friend. Do not make me add your ass to the kicking list. I would do so reluctantly, but I will do it. Choose your path now. You are quite clearly insane. You shall stay right here. I will make sure you do not live long enough to abandon more friends. I will do all of this as soon as I get these bars open.
The bars, they bend and twist with my berserker strength. Minsc and Boo are free. Now you will no.
Yes, our ruse worked.
You are a smart one. I understand now. You said what you did just to get me mad. Mad enough to break free. You are as smart as Boo sometimes.
Boo, best character. Now we can resume our adventures together. There are friends to avenge and villains to smack about the face and neck, right, Boo? Together we shall make our enemies answer for our fallen. Answer they will, and my sword shall be the question. We shall have fistfuls of sweet, sweet justice, and our enemies will be stains beneath our feet. What? Yes, but... Alright. Boo tells me that I am raving again. I did not notice a difference, but I shall heed his words nonetheless. Come, we must go now. Yes, Minsc and Boo and you together again. Beware, villains! I will force justice down your evil, evil throats. Ah, I see you still have that rodent. Dare I ask how you have kept it hidden from our captors? Don't ask questions better left to aged sages. Boo is quick and evasive, and there is ever so much of Minsc to search. There is no hope of getting us apart. I really don't want to think about that too much. Minsc and Boo are Minsc and Boo, and we shall not be separated. Shall we go? The butts of evil await my footprint. Right you are, Minsc. Wherever evil doth lay its dirty feet, we shall mop the floor with its buttocks. I have lost myself in your words, but Boo thinks you're just ducky. Onward! Oh god, I love this character.
Where Minsc goes, evil stands aside.
Yes. Okay, so as before with Imoen, we can now level up our friend Minsc, because we left Siege of Dragonspear at the experience cap, which is 500,000, and the default level for Minsc and Boo is 150, so the game is trying to even him up to our current experience score. So level up. And right now what we have? We have 2 points in two-handed sword, 2 points in mace, 2 points in longbow, and 2 points in two-weapon style. Okay, so he's actually pretty well kitted in terms of proficiencies. I think I'm gonna give him axes, I think. Because there's a very cool axe that you can take, but you need to be good aligned. And evil is chaotic good, so yeah, we're gonna go with axes. There we are. He also has some cleric spells because he's a ranger. And for that, we are going to take a couple of armors of the faith, just to keep him a bit safer from damage. And now it's time to go and save Yahira. And also, before I forget, let's customize the script. So you prefer melee weapons, you will not use anything. That's done.
Do it.
Do it.
Yep.
Imoen, why aren't you finding traps, lady? You should. Ah, AI is off. Okay. There we go.
Gotcha.
It's treason, then.
There we go. Okay, so let's talk to this jailkeep golem over here. Prisoners, you must not escape. The master does not will it. Wow, a golem! God damn it, Imoen. Powerful magic stuff. Odd that it's not hostile. I suppose its maker didn't expect us to escape, so it never got orders for restraining us. They only do exactly what they are directed to. They don't really think. If it hasn't been told to keep quiet, we might get some information out of it. Prisoners, you must not escape. The master does not will it. Who is this master you speak of? I am not permitted to speak with prisoners. Return to your cells. It is the master's wish. The master wants me to be free. He released me. Only I release the master's prisoners. You are his and must return to the cells. It is his wish. Where are we and why have you been brought here? You are his prisoners. He has brought you to his home because he owns you now. You must return to your cell. It is the master's will. So not much information we can take from here. I will not return to that cage. Do you think to stop me from leaving? I am not bound to stop you. The guardian will stop you from leaving. Return to your cells. It is the master's wish. Who or what is the guardian? The guardian will keep you from the master's chambers. You must return to your cells. It is the master's will. Okay. So I don't want to return to my cell. So let's use Imoen here to remove the trap and unlock some stuff. Some healing potions, a dagger +1. Yep. Actually, probably... Best character, Boo. Boo is a fuzzy little hamster. While Minsc believes that Boo is a miniature giant space hamster, you are rather certain that the tiny rodent is just a normal hamster. And if you try and take him away from the quick item slots, Boo scuttles away as you try to grab him, and Minsc stops any further attempt to steal the animal with a harsh glare. So you can never remove him from here. It's one of the restrictions with playing with Minsc. It's very worth it though. Okay, so here we can find some armor. Let's equip Imoen here with a couple of things. So, studded armor. Actually, if I do this, the disadvantage of wearing armor is that your wizard spells are disabled. So, I think I'd rather not have armor on Imoen. I will want a buckler though. Okay, I can just put this back. Now,
Jump on my sword
Mr.
while you
Minsc,
can, Imoen. I won't be as
he will
set
be a bit better equipped. So he'll take a helmet, splint mail, and a medium shield.
You will witness the final destruction of the Alliance and the end of your insignificant rebellion.
Yes, Palpatine.
Live by
And
the
here,
sword,
we can
live
find
a
some more stuff.
good long time.
So we can find a key, the jail cell key, to unlock Jaheira. We are going to take a two-handed sword for Minsc, and also a mace and axe. Yeah, this sounds fine. And a katana, because why not? I will take a quarterstaff,
Right, you are.
and Imoen. You can take the rest of the stuff in case we need it. Okay. So, Minsc, here you go. Here you go as well. Have a helmet, have some splint mail. Not gonna use this just yet. And, okay, so 914 Thaco. 9 Thaco. 2 attacks per round. 3 attacks per round. Okay, so we're gonna go with dual wield instead of the two-handed sword. Okay.
I can feel your anger. So be it.
Nature's servant awaits.
You've got the key that fits. Then open the door already. Must I hand walk you through this? Lady, be nice.
I await your news.
Well, that is a relief and about time too. We should be going immediately. Not only might our host come back, I simply must see the sun again in none too short a time. This dank place stifles me. We will leave immediately and celebrate once we are out of this hole. As you would have it, though there are other friends we must find as well. It is good to share your company again.
Yes?
Again, for Jaheira, let's also take her script. And we are going to remove her spell casting. And we are going to level her up. So Jaheira is a multi-class, a fighter and a druid. She got a bunch of bonuses, Thaco reduced. Ooh, she's got level 6 spells already. Okay, this is wonderful. Okay, so what does she have? She has proficiencies in scimitar, club, quarterstaff, sling, sword and this is useless, I mean. This is actually good in Baldur's Gate 1, not so much in Baldur's Gate 2. So you have 2 points in clubs, 1 point in scimitar. I wonder, should I give her 2 weapon style? Not yet. Okay, I'm gonna give her an extra point in scimitar. And if I actually want 2 weapon style, I'll put points in there later. For now, she will be wearing a shield. As for cleric spells, we are gonna be taking some more stuff. So Armor of Fate and Sanctuary, and after we rest I will redo these because I don't like this spell selection, especially Entangle. Here, this is awful as well. So what do I want for now? I think you can just take a Cure Moderate Wounds. Level 3, I will be taking Cure Medium Wounds, because I think it's the best thing for this particular dungeon. Level 4, we can take Static Charge. And Smashing Wave. Level 5, I always take this, which is going to be Insect Plague, one of the best spells in the game, and Iron Skins to make her extra tanky. And for level 6, we will be taking Entropy Shield. Actually, not for this dungeon. So we're gonna take Heal. Or actually this. A Fire Elemental will also be very useful. Or this. We can take the... This is kind of broken. But at least for early on, this is a very powerful spell. Especially with the changes I put in with Tweaks Anthology and SCS for rebalancing shapeshifting. Those are very powerful bears she can summon. Okay, so let's also gear it up.
Ready and willing.
Now, I think Imoen took all the weapons. Yep, she did. So, Imoen, you are going to give... Really? Well, I mean, I could give her the quarterstaff. But I want her to wear a shield. So, take the... I cannot use it. Take... What can you use, lady? Well, you're gonna use a spear for now. And let's get you some armor. This is chain, so 5, 7, take chain. Okay, so 2 AC on Jaheira, 2 AC on Minsc, and the spellcasters are irrelevant.
Do it.
Okay, do it. Just gonna put myself over here.
Something up?
Gonna buff Imoen and myself. Wait, what? This is bugged. Okay. Okay, better now. With stone skins, because these last for 8 hours. And we will be good to start exploring the dungeon. So I'm gonna end the episode here to make this more of an introductory episode where I explain where Palpatine has come from, what he's been through. We saw the intros for Baldur's Gate 2. We met this mysterious antagonist here, which is Mr. John Irenicus. We will find more about that soon. And I gathered up my party, put some gear on them, and ready to start fighting in the next episode. So, as always, guys, I hope you enjoy this series. This is one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game of all time. So, it will be a blast to play. I hope you guys enjoy watching it here with me. If you have any thoughts, any questions about the game, anything at all about Baldur's Gate, leave a comment. I love to see what you guys comment about the games and the questions. So leave one. If you want to get notified about future videos being uploaded to the channel, feel free to subscribe. And I hope to see you all in the next episode. So until then, stay safe, everyone.